Now I think I want to place my characters just a little bit differently on the stage. So the thing is that the girl, she's pretty much where she has to be. Because once we've animated her, she really can't go anywhere else. Just trust me, if we move her, she's going to get really weird. So she's got to be where she is. So you got to kind of think about that before you start animating. So the direction that she is, so the twist, the movement, it's all got to be how it is when it was animated. Now that being said, that's only because I use the move tool on her pelvis sometimes. I think the pelvis and her chest. And so it's when I move the move tool, use the move tool, that's what limited me from moving around. If it was all just rotates, then I think I could move her anywhere. So, it's a give and take, because on these guys, on the other hand, on these blocky characters, we go ahead and get to those guys, I can move them wherever I want, because they were all rotates. Now the next thing will be is a camera. So first thing I wanted to do is I'm going to go T for top, and I was thinking about my stage a little bit, and I think I wanted to expand it because I've got a lot of real estate that I'm not really using. So I'm going to go to the background here, and I'm going to unfreeze it for now. And then I'm also going to go to where it says sand. Now sand is way down here. There it is. And unfreeze that. I'm going to click on my background, and I'm going to combine it with the sand. So, I've put materials on both these things, but that's going to be okay. Watch what happens. So if I go down here, and I'm going to go to attach, and I'm going to attach the sand right here. It's going to give me a dialog box. The first one is just fine. You just click on that, and then that will be okay. And all I want to do with my sand here is maybe expand this stage a little bit. So I'm going to use my scale tool. And I think I'm going to scale it a little bit this way, and even a little bit this way. Okay, good enough. So I'm going to click off that. Now let's put in a camera. Okay, so a good place, just like the lights, a good place to put a camera in is in the top viewport. So I've got T for top, and I'm going to go over here to my Create tab, and I'm going to go right over here to the cameras. Okay, I'm going to put in a target camera. I don't know if we've talked about target cameras before. I think we've always put in a physical camera where we just put one in the perspective viewport. This one will use a target camera because the target's kind of nice. So I've clicked on target camera. I'm going to click down. This might be a little bit hard to see. And then I'm just going to stretch it out. It is hard to see because the camera is shown in white and the sand is white. But it's there, trust me. Okay, so let's see if we get a better view of that. So there we go. Now we can see both of them. And both of them are selected. Both the camera, no, the target's not. Here's the target over here. Now both of them are selected, and I can just go ahead and lift that up right there. I'm going to go to my 4 viewports, and I'm going to make this one a camera viewport. And that way I can see what the camera is seeing. So that's all good, and I can use my camera controls in the same way as I use the controls on the physical camera. You can see over here how my controls are. Here's my camera, and so if I raise it up, I can change the angle on this. And I think I want to come in with kind of a sky shot, because I've got this big old thing here. And you can see here, when I moved that, it stayed focused on the target. Here, maybe up here, we're going to do this. We're going to go from default shading to wireframe so you can see it a little bit better. And so you can see here's the target of the camera, and here's the camera itself. And so no matter what I do with the camera, it stays focused on that target. And that's what makes them kind of easy and kind of nice to deal with. Okay, so I'm just going to go up and let's see, maybe out a little bit. All right, so that's pretty good. Maybe, let's see, maybe just moving that target up a little bit. And I think, you know what I'm going to end up doing? I think I'm going to end up taking all these palm trees and shrinking them down a little bit. Because, we took the time to animate those. And so I want to kind of feature them a little bit. So I'm going to select all those guys and just make them a bit smaller. And then put them back down into the ground because they've raised up a bit. Okay, so that's all good. So now I've got my camera selected and I've got my auto key now turned on. I'm going to go ahead and animate the camera. What we can do here, watch this. I'll do sort of a faux cut. Now when we're doing our long final project, we'll do a lot of small scenes and then put them into Premiere for editing. But for this, we can just do kind of a fake. So right now, what I'll do is I'll move my camera just a little bit so I have a keyframe set right here. Okay, that's just fine. And then what I'll do is on the very next frame, I can go ahead and maybe rotate it around a lot this way. Okay, so here, and looks like we're looking at the back of the wall, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the wall. Okay, and so we've got a whole different point of view and a lot closer and maybe out just a little, oh, not too much. Oh, and so if I want to see more of that, I can change the angle on the lens. There. And that way the camera has stayed the same. I've just changed the angle on that a little bit. So it's kind of cool. Does that cut through? It gives me a couple of different cuts. I haven't been really moving the camera to the music. That would probably be a good idea. Here, let's take a look at the graph editor. And just like before, I'm going to zoom in on this. So maybe I'll go ahead and move this so that I can go more with the beat. Right here. Yeah, I'm just going to we'll hold it for about here. And then give that camera just a little bit of a move out. And how about also, I'm going to grab Alt W here, grab that camera and go up a little bit. And then at the very end, we'll go ahead and dolly that camera forward. And down and forward. And maybe rotate it just a little bit. You know, keeping it interesting. When you render this, this might take quite a while to render. So what you want to do is you don't want to render except at the very beginning of the period. So get everything all done, be ready to go. But if it's at the end of the period, don't even try to render because these things are going to take a while. Okay, so anyways, but with that, I am going to start rendering here. So here we go. So here's what mine ended up looking like.